but let's talk health now. Reddish, swollen, itchy, and sometimes heavy eyes fill the room while causing blurry vision are typical symptoms of acute conjunctivitis, an eye infection, also known as Apollo in the local parlance here in Ghana. A number of colleagues, friends, and family members have been suffering from the infection over the last couple of weeks and has generated a lot of public discourse on the causes, mode of transmission, treatment, and possible prevention. But are the new cases being recorded worth describing as an outbreak, and why do we have to deal with the notorious eye disease at this time of the year at all? Dr. Gaston Derry is an optometrist with the Third Eye Care and Vision Center. He's joining us on the JoyNews channel for a conversation on this. Good to have you, Doc.
I'm doing well.
First, let's find out whether there's an outbreak before we can even go into the conversation. Is there an outbreak of Apollo? Let me put it that way.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. Even apart from statistics in my clinic, for all the years of practice that I've had, I've not had this many cases of red eyes coming into the clinic in just the past 2 months.
Okay.
And then the Ghana Optometric Association has also issued a statement to warn the general public of the upsurge in the cases of Apollo in the country.
Okay. So now that we are setting that there's an outbreak, then we have to look at the transmission, how it can be transmitted from one person to another.
Yeah.
But are there causes?
Oh, yes. Apollo is actually a viral condition.
Okay.
And it's spread mainly by contact, hand-to-eye contact.
Okay.
So if you have Apollo, you touch your eyes, and then maybe you touch an object or any other thing that you share with someone else, the person touches it and touches his eyes or rubs his eyes, he can get infected. And what makes it scary is that it's very contagious, and it has a very short incubation period. In 2 days, tops, if you get infected, it starts manifesting.
I'm more interested about the virus
Yes.
that causes this.
Yes. So the virus is in a group of viruses that we call the picornaviruses, specifically what we call the enteroviruses, enterovirus 70. And because viral in nature and they are small in nature, they can easily penetrate and cause the infection. And it's it's a very quick and fast to.
And how does it get to you? Like, is it by some air blowing the virus into your eyes, or is it something you eat?
I'll use this opportunity to clear the air and demystify some things. You know, we hear that Apollo, if you look at someone who has Apollo, you may get some. And there are some other funny things that people say about Apollo. No. Yeah. Looking at someone doesn't give Apollo. It's just the contact that does this. So if someone is infected and touches his eyes because he's uncomfortable because of the redness, swelling, tearing, sandy feeling, and all that, and the discharge that he has. If he touches his eyes, then he gets his hand infected. So any other thing that he touches gets infected as well. You touch, so you can liken it to maybe the COVID, but this one has to do with contact. Yes, it is not by looking at someone at all.
Okay, so that's a transmission. If somebody has it and you come in contact with a person or anything that person touches, you're likely to also be infected.
Very likely
with Apollo. And you say it has a period of 2 days?
Yes, incubation of 2 days after you are infected for it to show up.
So what are the symptoms?
Okay, so the most common symptom that people will have is the redness.
Of the eye.
Yes, redness, because the blood vessels become so engorged with blood. You see, Apollo actually attacks the front of the eye. You see the picture displayed right now. There's a white that covers, there's a transparent membrane that covers the white of the eye. We call it the conjunctiva. Same membrane goes behind or in the inner side of the eyelid.
Okay.
So that is what becomes infected. So You have redness, you have profuse tearing, you have a discharge, like a watery discharge around the eye. And if someone has Apollo, he feels like there's some sandy feeling or gritty feeling
in the eye.
Yes, that's just
that would be very uncomfortable.
And next, you also have this aversion to light, because uncomfortable feeling when light is shown on your eye or when you are in a bright place. So this actually would hamper productivity.
Okay.
I shudder to think or imagine that everyone in multimedia gets Apollo.
Back to send it.
That would be a disaster. You can imagine.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is it. Apollo can easily spread, and we need to really do something quickly about it. I have noticed that this is spread very easily in crowded places like schools.
Okay.
So the typical thing we hear is that, my son or my daughter came home with a red eye.
Yeah.
The next day, everyone in the family
has
red
it.
eye.
Yeah.
So if your children or your child has Apollo, advise, don't send your child to school.
Okay.
If you yourself get Apollo, stay away from crowded areas and seclude yourself. Go to your optometrist or your eye doctor. Let us check and give you medication for it. Most likely you'll be getting an excuse duty so that you don't go and infect other people as well.
How do you treat Apollo?
Okay. So Apollo is managed by eye drops. In truth, it's a condition that we describe as self-limiting. Okay. That means that if we do not do anything about it, eventually it will resolve.
Okay.
But in between the time, the kind of fire that you go through, it's not the best. So we give you eye drops to help you to manage the condition and become more comfortable. The second danger is that if you don't do anything about it, your eye is in a compromised situation and other opportunistic pathogens or bacteria can take advantage and you get other infections.
Yeah.
So those two things. We give eye drops for that.
Okay.
Don't self-medicate.
So that is to say there's actually no cure for Apollo.
No.
But you can manage the discomfort.
Yes, we can manage it. Don't do it yourself because, or don't try to say that I'll just keep it like that. You can get yourself infected. You will definitely use your hands. So to help people quickly, if you get Apollo, you want to take off the discharge, use a tissue, don't use handkerchief.
Okay.
And
then dispose it immediately after.
Dispose it. Yes, just immediately
you've used it. Don't even reuse it.
No, don't reuse because you bring more pathogen back. And then you should not do certain things that they tell you. Number one, using seawater.
That's so common.
There's a good, the bad, and the ugly in managing Apollo in the local sense. Seawater, using breast milk.
Okay, that's also...
Yes, you hear a lot.
I see.
Using urine.
Oh my goodness, on your eye.
I'm telling you.
Interesting.
No, do not use it.
Okay.
And then the other one, I'm not comfortable mentioning, but it's important. Some will talk about akpeteshi.
To wash the eye.
Put akpeteshi in the eye and then blow it in the, whoever is infected.
Goodness me, who does that?
So please, yes, I advise the public not to do any of these because the eyes are very sensitive.
Very.
The kind of drops that we make are made in such a way that they can fit into the environment of the eye.
Yeah.
So let's be very careful. There are no spare parts when we talk about eyes.
Yep.
All around. No, there are no spare parts. So you have to be careful about what you do.
You're so right.
See your optometrist.
And so it's just the eye drop that you gave to manage the
and
discomfort.
To also protect the eye from opportunistic infections. Because apart from the fact that the eye is compromised, you also bring your hand there a lot because of the discomfort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you may expose it to other diseases.
If you have some sunglasses, of course, good sunglasses for the while, you will definitely wear them because you will be very uncomfortable in light.
When you get into contact with light. Ordinarily, how long does it take to go away?
It takes about a week. Some will go up to 2 weeks.
God.
Yes. A week, at least a week of agony.
My goodness. So, but if you try and get some, so it depends on how you handle it. you know,
yes.
I mean, that determines how long it stays with you. Is
yes,
that the case?
that is also the case. If you do get medication, you would feel that, you feel all the pain and the pain with light tearing reduce drastically or significantly before the 1 week or something. If you do not do any treatment, you really bear the brunt of it.
Oh my goodness. So what's your advice, I mean, in terms of prevention, because of the discomfort you talk about, so that you don't even get in there? Okay. What's your advice to the public?
So the first one, doesn't cost much. Wash your hands often. For no reason, just wash your hands. After this, you can just go wash your hands.
Yep.
You know, and then avoid touching a lot of things, maybe the railings, things that are of public use. Avoid touching those things. Okay. Don't. If you do have Apollo, like I said, seclude yourself. Don't go and into social gatherings. It's not nice. Then, if you get it, to go straight to the eye clinic and let us take very good care of you. Yes, it's something that can be managed easily, but it's gradually becoming a very big menace in the country. In all my years of practice, I've not really seen this upsurge.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah.
Wow, so it's really out there.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Derry, for educating us. Dr. Derry is an eye specialist, and he is an optometrist with the Third Eye Care and Vision Center. So, I mean, what I take from this, if you have it, don't go into, where there are a lot of people, or into gatherings. Don't go to work. If your children have it, don't send them to school. You'll just be helping to prevent the spread. And if you have it, try using tissues to clean the room instead of handkerchiefs. And also, don't use all the local remedies. Just go to an eye clinic for proper care. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.